the Constitution of the Confederacy is just as the same as the Constitution of the United States.
Because the United States commissioned the senator out of South
Teach?
Carolina
Yeah.
to write their Constitution.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's in there. And here's the sad part. Jefferson Davis' wife was what? She was a mulatto.
Yes, you are.
So when they're talking about the North and South, they're tricking you. They got you. Most of us think the Confederate flag is what? The crossbars and that, right? That's not a Confederate flag. The Confederate flags look just like the North Carolina flag. Y'all gonna make me,
Isn't it the Iroquois flag?
No, because it's different. If you look at it, there's different pieces on it. Most of it, you remember I told you, you always truth is always in front of your face. It's just that they're gonna have little changes and little different things, but it's always in your face. Now, let me see if I can find it real quick. What am I looking for? The Confederate flag. Okay. I'm gonna go back here first, and then you remember the flag I told you all before, which was actually the what it says? The Union Flag, United States flag of America. This was the first flag. Union Jack in the corner. They got rid of this because this is the descendant lineage of what? Of their forefathers. Got rid of this and put the 13 flags, 13 stars in it, represent each colony. All right. I ain't gonna get into it. I'm trying to find a Confederate flag. I got too many things, but I'm gonna teach y'all something. I promise you, we're gonna have fun. Ain't nobody gonna fool y'all when we done here. Go back. If I don't have it here, I promise you I'm gonna pull it back up. Save pictures. Downloads. I got too many pictures. Okay. If I can't find it, I got it somewhere. I know I do. I know I do. All right. Okay. Secretary, you got to get with me and fix my laptop. All right. So anyway, 1861, the Confederate state was found. Confederacy was founded. Okay? The war lasted. Fought. By 1864, now watch this. No, I want to go back to this. So the war is being fought now, right? North and South being fought. Everybody teaches us, especially, and I'm going to deal with it, about Abraham Lincoln being the one that freed us. Because the war is being fought, Abraham Lincoln issued 2 proclamations. 1862, his proclamation that he issued said what? What did it say? First one talked about slaves in what? Rebellion. Okay? And then the 1863 proclamation is where everybody talks about it. And I got to pull that up. I'm going to pull that one up because this one here, we gotta clear some things up where every year everybody's teaching some wrong, false history, but we got to clear it up. 1863 proclamation. Emancipation Proclamation, 1863. Okay.
Question.
Yes, sir.
Did he have a title for the first one?
1862 Proclamation, same thing.
Part 1 and Part 2.
Well, yes. As a matter of fact, Abraham Lincoln wasn't even the first one to bring up the proclamation, but everybody credits him with it. It was actually another general, field general, but he got it.
You know, what, the Great Slave Act, something like that.
Yeah. There it is right there. The document itself. What do I want to do? Make it better. Make it better. Proclamation.
The Emancipation Proclamation that was actually, the original was written by Queen Charlotte and 50 years earlier. And then Abraham Lincoln copied it. People want to say well over and all that kind of stuff.
Where's the proclamation I'm looking for? Hold on, I had it written down here. All right, let's go back here. We getting into it. All right. Abraham Lincoln. The text, transcript, here you go. I got the 1862 up there too, but here, you ready? Y'all ready now? Transcript. All right. Can anybody see that or we need to blur it a little bit more? It's blurry? It's blurry. We ain't going to teach today. Y'all going to get there. There it is. All right. So where it says now. Okay. Proclamation that on the first day of January in the year of our Lord. Whose Lord? Their Lord. Okay. 1863. All persons held as slaves within any state or designated part of state that the people were shall be there in what? Rebellion. So listen to it. He's giving you terms now. Against the United States. Who are those people? What it says, shall be thenceforth what? And forever free. The executive what? Government of the United States, including military and naval authority, therefore recognize and maintain their freedom. Such persons will do no ba-da-da-da. Then it's going to out. So now we got to talk about what states were in rebellion. He go down here now. This is where you're going to go. Now, therefore, Abraham Lincoln, by the virtue saved, vested as who? Commander in what? Commander-in-chief. So now he's telling you, Commander-in-chief, it's a war tactic that he's using to free you. It's to let you think that, okay, well, you're free to help fight whatever it is. It's a war tactic. Okay? So now he's saying here now, United States armed rebellion against the authority of the government of the United States and is what? Fit, necessary, war. Didn't he just tell you right here? Yeah. And as a fit and necessary what? War measure.
So that was a martial law declaration.
No, that's all it is. During the time of war, I got to fight a war. So now as a measure of war, what am I going to do? I'm going to free those people that are in rebellion, although technically he really didn't have what jurisdiction over them because they already formed quote-unquote a country, although they won't recognize. But he still realized that they won't recognize as a country, so he's still holding them as what? As if they belong to him. So now he says what here now? As a war measure for suppressing what? Said rebellion. He said, huh? They were losing. Thank you very much. They were losing, so they needed more help. Now watch this now. So where does this proclamation deal with? It tells you who. Arkansas, Texas, where? Louisiana, except the parishes of who? St. Bernard, Jefferson, St. all these right here. Assumption, it goes on, it tell you, right? New Orleans, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, South Carolina, North Carolina, and Virginia, right? Yeah, but watch what it says. Virginia except the 48 counties designated as what? So what about the slaves that were in West Virginia? What about the slaves that were in New Orleans? You follow me? What about the slaves that were in Washington, D.C.? They weren't free. What about the slaves that were in New York? It never meant, it did never apply to them. You got to understand this thing and see how they're playing tricks with you. Oh, but the proclamation freed us in 1863 according to Abraham Lincoln. And no, it didn't. It's just a war measure to fight those states that were in rebellion against him. The other ones who didn't have a problem with it, guess what? Continue doing business because then they already done told you that how we ain't going to mess with slavery.
He said in a few of his documents that it wasn't about slavery, it was about the war.
Thank you very much. But our people have been taught that because they want people to think that this is what's going on, but we're going to clear the webs. And we're going to show you how you're still being duped and you're still being tricked. Now, so we know the proclamation has nothing to do with freedom, okay? Why? Let's get into it now.
Didn't he say he would free his slaves only as a last resort?
As a last resort. He told you that. So now, by 1864, I'm a military guy. So now, 1864 now, those slaves that were free in those rebellion states, guess what they're doing? As the military goes further and further down south, right? And the slaves are fighting and they're getting behind the military now, right? And helping the military. What is that doing to the military? It's doing what? Strengthen the military. But now if it's strengthening the military have to be responsible for feeding them now, right? So what is the military going to do? The military strategy is, guess what? I'm going to give y'all 40 acres and a mule. But listen, but it's a war measure. It's just a war trick. It's a strategy why to lighten me from being able to feed you and take care of you. Of course. So now I'm going to give you that 40 acres and a mule so you can go feed yourself. Take care of yourself. So while I'm publishing or we're fighting the war, by 1864, when Sherman got down into Georgia and told Lincoln, hey, I'm going to give you for December as a Christmas present. So now we won the war. We won the war now. The war is over. Virginia, Lee, and Grant signed. The war is over. Listen to this now. A general during the wartime executive field order. Now all those field order, guess what? They're aggregated, null and void unless Congress agreed upon anything that the generals made during that time.
You know, in fact,
Watch it now.
Confederate farmers were given their land back.
Back. Exactly. Now you go. Why were they giving their land back? Because in the agreement that they made, Lincoln said, guess what? We're going to basically not even punish certain ones. You can do this if you just agree to come back in. Some of the slave holders or slave owners even got reparations for some of the slaves that were free in that territory. You see? So now, watch this now. So now, Sherman, in his letters, already wrote telling them, hey, look, man, I knew this wasn't going to stand in law, but I had to do something to lighten the load. So when the war was over and they started taking back, confiscating the land, guess what? That's law. Because now, who's empowered to write laws and enforce laws? Congress. So now that's why in 1864, 65, now when you had the 13th Amendment being written, it passed one house. You see? The first 13th Amendment with 20 sections passed one house. But a law or bill, in order for it to become law, has to pass what? Both House and Senate. So when it first passed, when it got, they said, now we don't like the way it's written. Go back, reformulate it, and submit it again. That happened recently with Obamacare. Obamacare passed one house, went back, it failed. They had to go back in and take out certain things and go back in, and then it finally got passed, right? Same thing. So when the 13th Amendment was passed in 1865, it came out 13th Amendment, 20 section. Now, that ended slavery. So that's why Noble Drew Ali said, until when? 1779, and lasted until when? 1865. Now, yes?
I did a quick question, so I'm trying to get this. When was the first time that they submitted it?
In 1864. I put it up. 1864 when, that's for y'all to look up. Shoot. 1864, I want you all to do homework. The first, they debated as to, okay, well, what are we going to do with these free slaves? Slavery is going to end. How do we fix this? So they're going back in the debate. Okay, slavery is going to be written this way. Because now you got to do something with the slave, which is called, everybody talking about what now? Reparations and compensation, et cetera, et cetera. What do you do with them for all the work that they've done? Something has to be done. That's why, no, correcting citizen don't fix it. But that's what they're thinking, because that's why Drew Ali says now they're going to be made what? To pay off our people in compound interest for the work that they did during slavery. That's reparations. But there's only one way that you can get reparations. We'll talk about that in another class. Okay, so we're working now. 1865, the 13th Amendment came. 13th Amendment came now, and then it says, I need to pull up the 13th time. Okay.
Slavery is unlawful.
13th Amendment. Yes.
Well, servitude and involuntary.
Okay, we got to put up, because this is where the trick lies now. This is where the trick lies. We gotta understand how we're being duped and we're being played.
Unless you found guilty.
Upon what? For a crime, right? So what is a crime? Ah, you don't know who you are. Yep, that's a crime. 13. Let's do it that way. Amendment. See, they know what's going on, because you're dealing with law. Our people fighting emotions. Emotions don't mean crap.
Is that why they put it on every application?
Yeah, so because it's a voluntary system. If I stand up and I tell you this is who I am, you're not going to respect me? I'm telling you who I am. I am. Our people would be upset if somebody called them a Negro. I ain't no Negro, I ain't no nigga. If they called you colored, you'd be upset. I ain't no nigga, I ain't no colored. They call you, I'm black and I'm strong and I'm black and I'm proud. But you, and then when somebody treats you according, you want, no. Now let's deal. 13th Amendment.
They can call you black, Negro.
Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude. This is the part where everybody forget. What does that word say? No, this word. Except. Everything else before this don't mean nothing. Except as being punished for a crime wherefore the party shall what have been duly convicted. Abraham Lincoln told you being black is a crime, but my client is a what? More. Abraham Lincoln, now he wrote the what? Proclamation. He's a lawyer. He's writing the 13th Amendment. He's a lawyer. So now he's telling you what? Black is a what? Crime. No, but it's a so except as punishment. Wait, yes, sir.
Where can I get that document?
What? Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah, because I'm gonna have.
Remind me to send it to you. I got a picture. I send it to you. Let's look up. You can put a Google Abraham Lincoln. My client is a more.
Okay.
Okay? Now, Abraham Lincoln being an attorney now, he done told you that being black is a crime. Although being black is a crime, my client is what? He's a Moor. So, black is a crime. Wherefore the party shall have been what? Duly convicted shall exist in the United States or any place subject to their what? Jurisdiction. Where I'm from is a territory. It's subject to the jurisdiction of what? The United States. Puerto Rico, subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. Now, who has the power to make laws and enforce laws? Then it says that Congress shall have the power to enforce this what? This article by appropriate what? Legislation. So I'm going to write whatever I want to write to deal with this. It's up to me. So if Congress wanted to make you citizens and make you whole, what should they have done? What should they have done? Say that again? Include your nationality when they wrote the 13th Amendment. But the Moors keep playing again out here messing with our people.
How about the secondary system to back that up? That to catch all those who knew that they were indigenous, but yet could not get any benefits for being indigenous, have to give up their nationality.
Thank you, Forrest.
The Freedmen's Bureau.
Because, yeah, you got to do that to become a ward of the states to get benefited and treated from the state. In your proper persons of who you are, you belong to a sovereign or someone else so they can't do something with you. So you got to give up your nationality, become part of this in order to get what they have to offer you. That's what he just said.
That's the same system that Osho was facing when he
Same, exactly.
Why are you pulling fish from your own lake that's for your people to sell it using the Roman coin?
Because sell it back. Because guess what? The fish belong to the citizens of the people. Noble Drew Ali said the gold and the silver belongs to who? To the people. What belongs to you? Same thing. Don't mess with your prophet. Only one came to give it. So let's work now. We working. Are we working? Everybody good? We working? We in it. We working. All right. So let's deal with this now. So 1865. Now remember now. According to Taj them, right? Any law that was written from when? 1860 is what? Is null and void and unconstitutional. So technically, he's saying that they're slaves. Is he not? Noble Drew Ali now told you slavery ended when? 1865. Who you going to listen to? Taj or you going to listen to Drew Ali? Drew Ali, the scriptures done told you to listen to him. He tells you because why? They wrote it in their constitution saying slavery is over. So now, watch the beautiful part. Watch how you are a criminal and you don't even know. Our people are breaking the law every day and they have no idea. Every day and they have no idea. So, before that, I'm going to deal with this. 1865, or let's take the 13th Amendment was passed. Now, we're going to deal with Juneteenth. Because Juneteenth, people in Texas did not find out until when? June, right? This was January, and this was what? It's still 1865. Juneteenth.
63 to 65.
No.
Juneteenth was.
No. 63 is a proclamation. The proclamation did not free you. It's the 13th Amendment that freed you. The Juneteenth or the proclamation was only a war measure. That's all it was. So when you follow me now? So you got to correct it.
And it wasn't ratified.
It wasn't not even ratified. It wasn't even a law.
Right, because it was under martial law.
It was on. There you go. So you can't use the 2 years thing saying that it hasn't. No, because what freed you was 1865. So it's only 6 months it took for the Texans, the people in Texas, to find out that they were truly free.
It wasn't a congressional law. That's what it wasn't. It wasn't.
Which was what?
We said the 13th.
1863.
Right.
No,
It wasn't. The Emancipation wasn't a congressional.
There you go.
And the 13th.
Right. Because see what happens, right? When people teach our people, right, they don't teach them the real clearness of the law. They give you an illusional part. So now we're teaching everybody, right, that how it didn't take 2 years until the slaves in Texas found out that they were free. That's not true.
He approved it in February 1st?
With January and then February 1st, right. So by then, even 5 months, 6 months is when, but instead of saying 2 years, the actual truth has only been what, 5 to 6 months. But they teach them it's 2 years, so that is wrong, and we clear that up. Everybody understand now? Good on that, because we got to deal with law. Forget about the other piece. Now, if slavery ended in 1865, when was the legal years of slavery? 1779. Lasted until what? 1865. That's law. 13th Amendment. What year are we in? 21? 2019. What were the legal names given to slaves during the time of slavery? Colored, etc. Okay? During the lawful time of slavery, slavery ended here. So by law now, law, forget your emotions. If you're using anything that has to do with slavery after 1865, you're considered what? An outlaw. You're breaking the law. You're breaking the law. They know that.
It makes you property.
It makes you property.
Puts you back in slavery.
Puts you back in slavery. And they can, and I'm going to pull that up. Why? Because what happened now, right? What happened now, that's why the 14th Amendment was written. So the 14th Amendment, what are we going to do with these people that we just freed? It says brought back under what? Assumable what? Jurisdiction. They know you don't belong to them, but what are you going to do? Until you figure it out, you're going to put yourself under it. But it's an assumption. Until you do what the 13 colonies did, they have assumption rule over you in this jurisdiction because Negro, colored, blacks, etc. belongs to who? It belongs to them. Because there's names given to who? Slaves by slaves. So if you're doing business and transaction, anything in their name, anything that you do belongs to who? Belongs to them. That's why the stoplights belong to them. That's why our invention belongs to them. Etc. That's why it belongs to them. They know that. You follow me? Now, if you are, how does nationality work? Let's get it, and then I'm going to pull up something, and then in half an hour we're going to get out. How does nationality work? A Chinese is a Chinese when? This is my favorite part. Yesterday, he can be a Chinese today, he can be a Chinese tomorrow. Right? A German is a German yesterday, he can be a German today, he can be a German tomorrow. Let's do one more. Somebody have my pick one. Where's? Favorite one. Japanese is Japanese yesterday. He gonna be a Japanese today and a Japanese tomorrow. Watch the slaves now. One time you were called what? Negro. Tomorrow they call you colored. The next day they call you black. The next day they call you. No. Let's go with the new ones. What's the new ones called? What? African American. What are they doing? I'm just changing the label on the property. Changing the label. It's a cherry Coke, a vanilla Coke, a Diet Coke. What is it? It's still a Coke. Vanilla orange Coke. Huh?
They take that
Of course.
This was a cry from our own people.
Yes, we don't want to be called. We want to get now. But look at our smartness now. We want to be called Afro-Americans or African American. How many countries in Africa? Over 52. 50, and not one of them you can claim and say is yours. So now you're still putting yourself out of luck because you're African, which is a continent, American, a continent, so you still don't have to plant.
And named after European.
And they ain't even getting into that right now. Because we got to deal with us. We got to deal with us and our mentality. Yes?
They also, the keynote of that is that was for their framework of their business. And that's the foundation of their business. Therefore, to this day, that foundation of that business is still running this country. So when we see our brothers and sisters dying on TV, it's part of the business model. You know, when we see a person that says that, you know, yeah, you can identify and have you can have the articles, you know, the jewelry, you can have all that says that you are Kemetic and that you are from that you built pyramids. But as soon as you put that black African American on top of it, you're back underneath the plantation system once again, thus being traded again. So when you get smashed out, your estates, everything that you ever built up goes back underneath that slave model and produces more slaves.
But that's the whole, like you said, that's the whole game plan anyway. Hold up. They got slick now. Okay, no problem. Let's see here. Okay, go on. No, I was just on. The heck? Okay.
A self-perpetuation of self-enslavement.
Absolutely.
Why? Let's get with it now. No, I want the 14. I'm getting ready to make sure this is connected and reload.
Jackson know that when he
Jesse Jackson's a fool.
fired off the African American
Jesse Jackson's a fool.
Most politicians are law.
Oh, there it is. That's right. Let's get here now, and then we're gonna deal with this. And I promise you, I'm gonna go back to this. But Virginia, we're gonna teach. We teaching today.
Always remember that oath, right? That oath is the oath of the Constitution that makes you a slave.
Yep. We in it today, and then we're gonna go ahead. I promise you. Now. All right. Now. So we want to know what they done cut me off? They done cut me off. We ain't paid a bill. Action needed. Okay, there you go. It says action needed. All right, let's go. So give me some water. We in the house now. Come on. No, because we were just there. No problem. Close all tab. If not, one more thing. I want to bring this up because this is important for everybody to understand. This one right here, and then we're going to move on. Gotta get this piece. Let's see if this is going to refresh. What? Somebody don't get me now. Huh? Yeah, it's connecting now. It should have popped up. Well, this is the last. We're going to get into this now. So it's connected. It says open. Ain't that something? Son of a gun. I'm talking too much. I'm in the house. Okay, there it is. Good. I done knocked off the whole. They probably got a microphone in here, everything too. Saying, no, he letting too much out. Slow down. All right. So if that's connected, then that means this gotta connect too, because it took you straight there. So that means this gotta go here. What? Okay. Pull up your phone. Pull up your phone. 1705 Virginia Slave Code. 1705 Virginia Slave Code. And I got so much. Oh, we going to be able to do that. Jesus. Y'all all right? Yes. All right. So anybody put it up? 1705 Virginia Slave Code. We didn't even get into that yet. Pull it up. You got it? Help me out, Tish. You got it? Yes. Read it. What does it say? Okay.
Virginia Slave Code of 1705 were a series of laws enacted by the colony of Virginia. House of Ordinances regulating activities related to interactions between slaves and citizens of the Crown Colony.
And the slave says, and the code says what? I want the code. I want the code itself.
These codes go back to the idea of white supremacy into law by the
I want the code. Read what the general code says. Look for the one that says the PBS. Any what?
Establish new properties for slave owners?
Any such. See, y'all playing now.
It said PBS?
Yeah, look for the PBS one that says. And if somebody get it. Virginia Slave Code Act. I know y'all got it. Read.
Says, all servants imported.
Ah, that's what I want. Read. Stand up. Read that for me, sis. Read now.
All servants imported and brought into the country who were not Christians in their native country
Uh-huh.
shall be accounted and be slaves.
Okay. All slaves, right, brought into the country
Imported.
or imported, and what else? Imported and something it says. There it is. Okay. More than one way to skin a cat. I know I got it written down somewhere. Don't fool me. PowerPoint. Yeah, all right. So here we go. In 1705, the Virginia General Assembly removed any lingering uncertainties about what the terrible transformation. It made a declaration that would seal the fate of, it says, African American for generations to come. Now, when it was written, I'm going to read it. It sealed the fate for Negroes for generations to come. What's Negro? Name given to slave, right? All Negro or slaves imported and brought into country, or let's put this jurisdiction, who were not Christians in their native country, for instance, the native land, okay, shall be accounted and be slaves. That's who you're going to be within this jurisdiction. And to be held what? Real estate. What's real estate? Property. Now this is the part. Black Lives Matter. They're killing our people, right? Our brothers and sisters in the street, right? Killing them, right? If any slave resisting his who? Master, correcting. You see, master, police, sheriff, You see what it's going there? You see what's going there? You see how that works? Master, who represents the master. That's what that means. You follow me? So the police, resisting the police, correcting such slave, and shall happen to be killed in such correcting the police, because you see that shall be what? Free of all what? As if such accident never what? Eric Gardner, See, y'all want to play around with this thing, but it's laws. It's there.
Because the slave codes have not been repealed.
No. It's the same system.
So the Virginia codes go all the way to North Carolina?
Okay, see now you go with the teacher now. There you go.
13 colonies.
The 13 colonies. And the Burgess, what she read, the House of Burgess, was where they governed and put out the laws to go out to the 13 colonies. So what the Burgess is what's considered to be their Congress. That's the foundation of the whole shebang. Because the laws came from where? From where did the first settlement was set up where? Jamestown where? Virginia. So Virginia sets everything out. And they still hold true to this code because that's the foundation of the code.
So that's
1705. Yes. 1705, right? That's when they made it, what it says? Remove any lingering uncertainty. So in other words, there were things happening before 1705. But we're going to etch this in stone now and let you know how this is moving. You can't ask, well, does a slave have a right to do this now? No, this is what we're telling you now.
So everything from 1774, all those other dates,
Applies to,
that precedes.
right, because this 1704 goes into, 1774 proceeds into this. Because all this came forward. Even with the Revolutionary War, all this came forward. Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm seeing here it says Virginia Slavery Legislation 1630.
Yeah, that's my point.
Go back even further.
Oh, you can go back further than that.
It's 1606 is the origination of the charter, and that's the foundation document that starts.
Thank you very much.
Just the unfolding of that
Same charter.
from back then. So everything that's thrown in the middle is all inclusive.
Of course.
And they all apply.
Everything applies.
Pull out any of those
It's the foundation, built upon.
about how they've been doing this to the indigenous that's here, because you still have the system beforehand.
Yes.
But you're a founding in a foundation.
Yes.
So when you take off all their stuff, when you remove their label's sitting on top of you. So now they have nothing. So you can just remove that label, but the problem is that the collection of all of us here has to come with that same idea, and all pull the sheet off, and now we can just crumple up that piece of paper and say, okay, no more labels, here we are.
And we are our own people.
And then this is our government in our nation on our land, not country. Because a country can be created
Out of a land.
Whoever wants to start
oh, shoot, look at you go. Make him daddy proud.
And once you get it, it's like, oh man, it's there.
And those that are still in church, black women are deemed titleable or taxable.
So,
Creating a distinction between African and English women.
ooh. You see that here?
Slavery in Long Virginia, 1642.
I'm always losing the races.
It's on the floor right there by the third, by the.
Okay, there you go. Thank you, sis. So, see, what happened is, I mean, y'all know I can go on all day with this, but we ain't gonna do that today because I gotta leave some for next. So here we go now. So you got the laws to understand how the whole system is built. Everything is built from this. Because what happens is you're dealing with, you remember during this time, everything was considered still under Great Britain. You see? Then when they fought and they won from Great Britain, they still brought so and continue doing what they do. So that's why Drew Ali is just dealing with the specifics now. So he said, okay, well, you know what? They formed a new country in what? In 1776. Why? Because here it is again. New country. So when they came over here, right? We were already here. So we came out, we met them, tell them they can stay on this part of the land. So they got their jurisdiction. We have our jurisdiction. We sent people over here to learn from them. They sent people to learn from us. Problem is they were partying over here with liquor and drugs and doing prostitution, all kind of stuff, and we like that. So what we did was, oh man, Dad is too strict. He don't want us drinking, he don't want us smoking weed, he don't want us that, but they partying like hell over here. Dad said I got to be in the house by 6 o'clock before sundown, but over here, heck no, you can watch TV and be as long as you want. So what that looks good. So then what we did, we did not desire to amalgamate, but we amalgamated. And we accepted their labels and terms upon us. There you go, straight after the gods of Europe. So then their way of life is what we've been doing, and we've been catching hell ever since then. Their way of life.
What's your addiction? Right?
What's your addiction? Now, okay, I don't want to beat y'all too much. I'm going to stop there intentionally. Let me get some questions. There's a part 2. Maybe next Sunday we'll pick up on that part. But I want to give you all this foundation because this is what we have to teach the children. If we give them the pure foundation of it, then they're going to see with better eyes to understand why they're being treated the way they are, why things are the way they are. Why are you beating me up, Mr. Officer? Am I not human? No, you're not. Why? Because Declaration of Human Rights says everybody's entitled to a nationality. You don't have one. You still considered Negro, colored, black. You still chattel. So now the police, the courthouse, the this, the that, they can do what they want to do with you because I'm still what? Correcting such slave. But you thinking, ah, man, I'm free. Why you not black and I'm proud? They know the law. They know what it is, so they playing with us. So what do? It's important that what we did, and I'm going to unfold this one for the sister to see. So what we did was, we have our own government that's formulated. It's called MoorishAmericanGovernment.com.land. It is there. It's a government being unfolded and being brought up from the foundation. We haven't done anything outside of law. The problem is now we have to get our people to come in and work within their government. How does that work? Noble Drew Ali came, and the first thing he did, we set up the Moorish Science Temple of America to teach our people how to be themselves and learn this type of stuff so they can stand up and say, we no longer want to be your property. We want to govern our own selves, write our own laws, write our own institution. We went to, me and the sister that went to a town hall meeting on Thursday, and one of the girls stood up and said, you know what though? Okay, man, why is prostitution so prevalent within our community? Why are little girls being molested even by their fathers, etc., etc.? The answer was, I'm going to tell you what it is, and that's how I really felt. Within our society and in our community, when we're able to govern ourselves and write our laws, any father molesting their children, I say kill them. Don't ask me about no rehabilitation or anything like that. No, you kill them. Kill them and rehabilitate and let them come back. If they learn the lessons on that plane, then they come back and do whatever it is. You are a father. You're supposed to protect your home and protect your daughters. You're the first example of what love is supposed to come from. owe some sort of protection, and you're going to violate that and molest your daughter? No, I say kill him. Kill him. And I'll tell anybody any which way again, you touch my daughter or touch any one of my nieces at a young age, whatever it is, I'm going to kill you.
He was serious about that, y'all.
And I'm serious about it. I've never been any serious than that. I will kill you. We have a right to write our own laws, govern our own selves, etc., etc. But you got to be able to do that as a people. So how? When he created the Moorish Science Temple of America, he did that for the purpose of being able to teach us freely. When he changed it into a religious organization, which became part of their constitution, which says what? You have the freedom of what? Freedom of religion. So now I have the right to teach my people those things that they need freely. You can't tell me that I'm doing something unconstitutional. So what are you supposed to teach you? How to be yourself, how to dress accordingly, how to talk accordingly, how to do certain things. That's what it's there for. We have issues with the temples now. When I say issues, because they're not teaching the way that they're supposed to teach. They're not doing the things that we're supposed to do. So how do we save our people in this corporate construct while they unfold so they can go into the government and do what needs to be necessary? Because now, in order for you to get reparations, you got to have a government to pay another government. Get into it. You got to have one government taking money out of its treasury, paying another government into its treasury. So the United States tells us, who do we pay reparations to? We don't know. We can't pay nobody. If they give you all the money now, all they've done is giving you a stimulus package. You won't go out and buy a house, buy Jordans, buy everything. That money is going to go right back into the treasury. How is that money being used for you? It's not. It's just a stimulus package. Just like a tax stimulus check, that's all it is. Now, Germany is paying Israel reparations for war done. Money, Germany cuts a check, goes to what? Israel. That's how it's done. Reparations was given to the slaveholders. What they did was they wouldn't have their own country, but still is one family for property that they paid. But you now, in order for you to get paid in compound interest, just like Joe Ali said, for the works of your nation, they got to be able to cut a check from what? From their treasury to your treasury. You take it and you disperse it among your citizens. How are we going to basically better train the citizens, teach them better, whatever, along those lines? That's how reparations is given. Until this stands up, say it again?
Government to government.
Government to government. That's the only way it's done. They know that, nation to nation. They won't tell you that. It's not their responsibility because it's your responsibility to do that. Okay? Islam. All right. So, what we did, one minute. You want to? Yeah, I'm going to let you read it for real quick. So, I'm going to let you talk. So, what happens now? So, in this construct, corporate construct, we needed a corporate entity in order to teach our people how to unfold. So what we did was we created a nonprofit organization, nonprofit only because we're trying to hide away from the Moorish Science Temples of America at the moment because most of them aren't representing what Noble Raleigh brought right. So we got Vine and Fig Tree, which allows us to do everything to a form and structure of a government. So what is it? Let me show you. Vine, Fig Tree, Family Resource. All right, pull it up. There we go.
Corporate business?
Yes. Why is this doing this?
Because you're trying to teach the truth.
This is crazy. Hold on.
Probably time
Yeah, but why? We were just...
Maybe a finger moving today.
No, it's... Let's try this again. Because even when I do that, it should give me a part to put the key in, right? It's not even giving me... See? Like no access. Man. Okay. Let's do it again. Must be their network up front then. They shut off the network up front.
Can't be talking about the people using their tools, man.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I like that. Okay, well, that's it. But anyway, so it's called Vine and Fig Tree Family Resource .org. That's where their website is. Vine and Fig Tree Family Resource.org. Under each department, right? Under each, when you click on the more, it has a department for everything. What department? We got a department of media. So now Drew Ali teaches us how we have to write our own story. We have to do what? The media is the only defense that you have to correct the onslaught of lies that's been told about you. So you got to be able to tell your own story. We have a department of finance where we have two of our finance ministers or individual. Sister Treasury are here, and we got Miss Goddess over here. That's what I'm going to call you from now on. Goddess. So that's involved in the Treasury Department. We're looking for, we got the Agriculture Department where the brothers out selling watermelons, et cetera, et cetera. So what happens is now, what we've done is we've created a network so we can sustain ourselves. So then now we take this network and we do it in where? South Carolina, we do it in Maryland, we do it in Virginia, we do it in Nebraska. So that now, guess what? We can move products from amongst ourselves. You see?
Yes.
Your own products. So even if they shut down anything, it doesn't bother us. Why? Because we have our own farmers. We got our own ACEs, we got our own treasury, we got our own education department, which was we teach the youth them what they need in order for them to grow and see beyond the foolishness. It's called self-contained and self-what? Determination. That's what we've done. And we're looking for individuals to join our causes to help us teach and help us educate the community within itself. That's what we do. That's what Violent Fig Tree stands for. All right? So, any questions before we wrap up? I could have went up, Jesus. Yes, ma'am. Oh, no, let me get this in there. Yes. You, and then come here.
I wanted to ask the young man, he said that we need to come together as a people
Mm-hmm.
and change our nationality, let them know our nationality. How do we go about doing that?
Okay.
This girl.
You know, here's the thing, right? In this system, right, the Bible speaks of it. Even, for instance, what we need, technically, if you can get 144,000 of us standing up and doing it, we're good. It's over 60 million of us here. But once again, numbers speaks what? Power and value. So if I got 5 of us stand up and say, well, I'm Moorish American and this is what I'm doing in between, the big lion ain't going to pay you no mind. Okay, well, let me know. Why? Because the UN already told us go back and formulate a government from amongst ourselves. Once we've done that, we have a functioning body now as what? If we say we go back to the UN, now we stepping together what? We got a whole treasury board lined up. We got our whole communication department lined up. We got our whole, what even called security lined up. What are you? You're formulating a whole government. You can manage now the funds. If they give you the funds, in between now, you can disperse it. Because you have a government which is structured. Yes, brother.
It's so significant that the question came up because on the conference call last night, right, which was dealing with Moorish American Unity 101, right? And what he just said, right? In Act 1 of our divine constitution showing you how everything is in the teachings of the prophet.
Yep.
We are the grand body.
That's right. You are part of Act 1.
Just talking about.
Yep.
You know, functioning, right, as that governmental, right,
Entity. Yep.
right, that apparatus.
Yep.
That the prophet talked about.
That take you on an apparatus on high. See, because what happens is, not only that, watch this now, hold on, I got to do this. And I know what I said, but I want to do this because it's important and I'm going to let you go. Speak what you want to say.
Of course, in my mind, the way how I saw this, like for the collection of our people to really name it, we don't see it from a story we were all taught. See, when we're taught the story of the coming of the Messiah, we're taught what his parents are doing first at that time. They're going to their indigenous native land.
Yes.
To put in something.
Yes.
To fill out their names on
Yes.
their census.
And this.
So our next year we have our census coming, where you designate what your true people are. So your race is Asiatic. We're talking about 101s, right? That you're Asiatic. Boom, you're saying right here, I am from the original
people.
Of people who are first step foot on this plateau, letting you know that there is a civilized mind and a way of thinking and a way of mindset.
And that.
So we put down Asiatic or we put down
No,
the
Asiatic for race.
Okay.
It's a status in indigenous hood.
Okay.
Now then the next thing is nationality.
Okay.
Nationality is Moorish American. Now, the best answer for the rest of the world to see is in that census that there's how many of these Moorish Americans inside this place? And these are the original people. Oh, so they mean the people who created us have stepped foot back onto the plateau and land again.
Yeah, the human thing.
And
Right.
that's
The human
one-
family.
One of the best ways. Now there is also, like he said, the system of us operating. So it doesn't make sense for us to even fill out all that on the census if we don't have the system to operate
on
within,
that. Exactly.
so that we can erect the rest of our civilization back up.
So like if all 60 million came home today, what are we going to do with them? We're not equipped because you don't have housing authority. You don't have anything set up to say, well, let me give you this or let me give you that. So you got to have those things in play. Now, the census comes up. What is your race? There's only 2 races on the planet. You're Asiatic or European. We're Asiatic. What's your nationality? You're Moorish American because that's what Noble Drowley brought you. Now, watch this now and then we're going to close. I promise. No, you and then we're going to close. We talked about, remember where it says where they talked about correcting such slave and happened to kill Here's the answer now. Then it says that they are endowed. Okay, where are we? There we go. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal.
Right.
We said men. Without a nationality, you're not a man. You're still property. So once you claim your nationality, that's what it says now, right? That they are endowed by their creator, by God, okay? With certain unalienable rights. That among these are what? Life. Now, correcting you? No, you can't because my nationality, I have a right to what? Life. You see? Then you got, right? Liberty. What's that? Freedom. I have a life to live what God wants me to be. A bird lives out this what? What it's supposed to be, which is what? A bird, right? That's freedom. Then it says what? And the pursuit of happiness. I have a right to be happy, to live accordingly. Why now? But see, this is the kicker part, what we're missing as a people collectively. This is what we're missing. Watch it now. Then it says what? Then it says that to secure these rights. What rights? Like pursuit.
Life, liberty, and pursuit.
How do I secure my people? What do I do here? How do we fix that?
With my own government.
Governments what? Are instituted among men deriving their what? Powers from the consent. So in order for you to get the protection that you need, that's where your government comes in. So your government now is you have who represents the government, which is either, let's say, Trump. You got his military and you got his quartermaster. You got your own. That's your sovereign right there. There is no such thing as a sovereign individual because the people is the sovereignty. So now he's come representing who? The people, which is what? Is governed by the consent of who? By the people. So he's representing the people. The military is protecting the people. The quartermaster is telling you, this is what my nation has to offer. We have what? Transportation, liberty, whatever you want. Stoplights that we want to basically, you know what I'm saying? This is what we have. So I'm coming to you, one government to another government. That's what God says. I made you nations so that you can know much each other and bring what each other have. Now, when we step forward back in the front ways, we're doing friendly, which is called what? Friendly relations. Hand to hand, unity. What do you have to offer my nation? Well, this is what my nation has to offer. Now let's trade. Friendly trade. It's not about war. Read that real quick, sister, and then we will close out. Just the portions, yeah. Just the portions. Set it up.
Everyone was given earlier.
Really? That's how you're going to do me?
First I rise and I give praise to the great God Allah. I give honors to the Prophet Noble Juali. I give honors to Marcus Mosaic Garvey. I give honors to our Grand National Chairman and to our Moorish American government, to Act 1 and Act 6. I also give honors to our Moors here than everywhere, Islam. I've given a ditto sheet out to everyone earlier, and it gives some pertinent details as to certain time frames, and it's talking mainly about Texas becoming a part of the Union. I'm looking at what it says page 8, and it's actually a 25-page document. It's a speech of Mr. George Ashmun of Massachusetts regarding the Mexican War. He's talking to the House of Representatives back on February 4th, 1847. So Arthur was just talking about...
Who?
Arthur was just talking about governments being instituted amongst men and the laws of nature and the laws of God. So it says, and written down in the book of fate and law of nature as a true and permanent boundary between the two first powers of the New World, the Rio Grande is the Mexican River by position and possession, and to the Mexicans may it forever belong. Going down to the next paragraph, pointing out the date of the 3rd of February, 1845. It's referring to boundaries. The stupendous deserts between the Nueces and the Bravo rivers are the natural boundaries between the Anglo-Saxon and the Mauritanian races. There ends the Valley of the West. There Mexico begins. Beyond the Bravo begins the Moorish people and their Indian associates to whom Mexico properly belongs. Who should not cross that vast desert if they could, as we, on our side too, ought to stop there, because interminable conflicts must ensure our going south or their coming north of the gigantic boundary. dropping down to where it says, either side molest or mix with each other. Whenever they do, one or the other races must be conquered, if not extinguished.
Okay.
Islam family.
Islam, yeah, read the rest of that. The information is right in front of you. They have it there if you know where to look. So I want to thank y'all for actually bearing with me here. I think I went a little long today, but I needed to. And because what we're getting ready to is embark on not only having town meetings, et cetera, but we want to make sure that how we have a clear conception, so we start teaching the people it's time for us to move collectively and start doing the things necessary in order for us to rise as a nation. They know who you are. They really do. The problem is, do we know who we are? And then we have to stand up. It's not about fight. Because your principles are what? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice all day. So you leave with those 5 principles, the doors are going to open to you, the doors of the kingdom of heaven. So any questions before we bring up our closing statement?
What's the title of this article that you looked up on Google?
It's called
I don't remember the name of it still. But.
Speech of Mr. George Ashmun, ASHMUN of Massachusetts, on the Mexican War.
Yes. Any other questions? Yes, sis.
I don't have a question, I have a comment. As Brother Rogers has stated, we went out into the community the other day, and we plan to do more of it. And when he spoke, well, actually, the Spirit called him up because the conversation amongst in the room, we were the only ones that we know who we are in the room, but the conversation kept bringing up the keys and the information that we had to give to them. Once he got up there and spoke, people wanted him to continue speaking. The questions were out there. So I have a challenge for us. We all have audiences that we know of. We have to work together to get our message in front of these audiences. So you know, a group of people, a youth group, I don't know, a book club, anybody that can create an audience that will allow us to come in and start giving them those keys. That's one of the things that we need to start doing. Because the information, the people want the information, they need it. We just don't have a floor right now. We're looking for a building, but we need a floor. So if we can just be proactive and intentional about getting this information and going out to the community, I think we'll see a greater, much greater impact that we can make in moving forward.
So, in other words, it goes back to what we say, it's about your action, works, and deeds. So now we're ready to put forth and do what we got to do in order to bring everybody home. I love each and every one of y'all, and what we want to do is make sure that how Islam, please, yes. Oh yes, sorry, Father, go ahead. That one, left one, other one, left. There you go.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I apologize, no First giving honor to our God, Allah, Bismillah ar-Rahman. Giving honor to Noble Joe Ali, Martin Syed Garvey, to the Moorish Nation, and to all Moors here and everywhere. Islam. What I wanted to address was Sister Felicia, in terms of having a floor. One of the things that's powerful, I mean, I was like crying up here, because I've never seen the 1705, like ever. And I have my nationality. I'm clear about who I am, but I never saw that. So what's powerful is that we have media, Yes.
and that we have a television show,
Yes.
and that we have the ability to, Rashidi, our media, we have the ability to create segments that we can all send out on Facebook, or just us doing our part of a very powerful lesson that was given today. So I just wanted to say we have a platform that everybody's keyed into, and not to diminish the in-person speaking events. But I just wanted to add that.
All right, peace and love. Announcement? Sure, go ahead.
Islam family.
Islam.
Just for everybody. the publications of Moorish America and the government. I have I have a couple Moorish Holy Qurans. I have questionnaires, which we know the prophet said out of this book come the leaders of the nation. And I have a couple of the books of the
Books of Ali. Ali.
Book of Ali.
Yes.
And I also have, as we
Flag.
were just speaking, I have a couple of the
Flags.
flags. For
Islam.
anyone, you can see me after the class. You know, take something.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam, fam. Congratulations. All right.